Hey everybody, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on this Sunday, October the 18th. I hope everyone has had a great stitchy week. My week was really good. Had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stitchy stuff. I got all of my stitchy stuff worked on for the week. Yesterday was probably our busiest day of the week. We had a soccer game in the morning for my son. He got the medal of the week for being the all-star on the team for the week. Yay. And then last night, my husband and my kids ran in a 1 mile Halloween fun run in full costume for the kids. My husband just had a Lucha Libre mask. My daughter was dressed up as Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony, and my son was dressed up as Iron Man. My son finished the 1 mile in a little over 10 minutes. My daughter finished it in a little over 12. I was very proud of them. They are definitely their father's children because, yeah, I don't run. I stood in the sidelines and took pictures, and there were lots of really cool costumes that were there. One person dressed up in a full body, like covered his head, full body jack-o'-lantern sphere. And you could see him on the inside holding it up, and he ran the race with that. There were Ghostbusters and Star Wars, and the kids' costume winner was a zombie Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. There was a beekeeper family. There was all sorts of, princesses galore, superheroes galore, stereotypical, scary Halloween witches and zombies and ghouls and all that galore. My favorite costume, the family costumes that I saw, there was a husband and wife. The husband was dressed up as a ringleader, like a circus ringleader, and the wife had on one of those little like the hat scarf combo, but it was clearly for a lion. They had two little ones, no older than 2 or 3 for the oldest, and the other one was a little bit younger, and they were both dressed up in full lion costumes, so it was the lion tamer. It was really cute. So yeah, but it was a good week. I can't believe we're on the 18th of October. It's just boggles my mind. But, the year's going by, and it's been a good year, and yeah, now I'm starting to go off on tangents. So let me get back to what I was supposed to be talking about today. Got a lot to talk about today. First, I noticed when I was preparing this morning for my video, I'm out of the ones with real sugar in glass bottles. I gotta pick some more up at the store tomorrow. I'm at 983 subscribers as of this morning. Yay! I mentioned a couple videos ago that when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing a giveaway. So we are edging closer to that number. I'm excited. So I thought I'd start this week the way I have the last couple of weeks with some questions that have been asked on my last video. So the first one comes from Johnny Wizarick. Hi, Johnny. And as always, if I mispronounce names, I'm sorry. Johnny asked, how do I separate and use specialty flosses? Because Johnny has some Karen cotton and wasn't sure how to use it. Coffee Stitcher's done a great video on how to use specialty hand-dyed flosses, but I pulled out 2 things from my stash. This is one of the Karen Water Lilies silks. It is a stranded silk, so I just pull it out the same way as I would pull out my DMC. I pull a length of it, however many strands I need per the pattern, cut it. For when you do a hand-dyed floss that is variegated especially, you want to do each X one at a time, a full X, because if that way it can get the variation or the variegation to be more consistent throughout the stitching. Some people like doing the traditional method that you do with like your DMC, where you go down a whole row and then come back, and it makes a more subtle color change in the variegation, but it's really meant to do 1X at a time with the variegated floss. But I also pulled out, because I was looking at my stash, I have this, one of the Wildflowers, which is their stranded cotton from Karen. And this is this is a pearl, and I don't remember which number pearl it is. I've had this one for a while, and I don't have the pearl number in there. But this, you would just use it as it is. You don't pull it apart. Pearl cottons, you just pull it off the strand, or pull it off the skein and cut it and use it. You don't pull pearl cottons apart. Same way you don't pull Krynex apart. You just pull it off the you know what I'm talking about, the little round thing, and you cut it and you use it. You don't pull it apart. It is meant to be used as it comes off the skein. So I hope that helps. If I have not done a video before of actually showing what I'm doing, I always describe it. If I need to show something, let me know, but I hope that kind of answers your question, Johnny. Susan Geobolt asked about 28 count 1/1. How does it look? It depends on the pattern, and it depends on what you want to do, and it depends on your personal preference. I have done 28 count 1/1 for skin for some of my Joan Elliott's and my Miras, and I love the way that it looks. If you're wanting to do, but when I do it that way, I'm taking what is usually one piece, like one square, and doing 4 squares to fill up that one. If you're wanting to do 28 count 1/1 and just make it so that the pattern, you don't make 1 square into 4 or 1x into 4, I think you would need to test it out and see what you think of it. The coverage is usually fine on 1/1. On 28 count, I've never had a problem with coverage. It's just a matter of personal preference then on how you think it would look the best. I would recommend testing it out. If you're going to do it, break 1 square on the pattern down into 4, it should be fine, especially if you're doing something over like a skin type thing. If you're wanting just to shrink down the pattern size so it's 1/1/28 count, that's tiny. Not that it's a problem, it's just tiny. So I think you would need to kind of make your own decision on how you think it looks. So I'd recommend testing it out and taking a look. Wendy Davis had 2 questions for me. One, have I ever had a piece that I was working on and found it very hard to put it down at the end of the day because I do a daily rotation? It's been a long time since I have had a piece like that. Raven Queen is probably the closest piece to that right now, and I'm working on her daily because she is my rotation piece, or she's my stitch along piece for October in Stitch Mania. But it's been a long time since I've had a pattern that I want to continue on after one day. I think it is because, one, I have been doing this rotation so long now that my mind just is programmed to, at the end of the day, be ready to put it down and move on. The last time I lost my stitchy bug, and I took about a 6-month break, it was before I was really doing this. I wasn't as faithful to my daily rotation. And I would say, you know what, I like this piece, I'm going to work on it for a while. And that just doesn't work for me. I get burned out. Last April was really hard when I was doing the ABC, or the alphabet challenge, the blogging ABC challenge, where I was stitching an alphabet sampler. And that was the only piece really I got to work on all month because I was doing a different letter every day. And while, yes, it was like a mini finish every day, I was ready to put that pattern away well before the end of the month. So, you know, it's just, if it happens, I wouldn't give it more than 2 or 3 days before I move on. Or I would find a reason to use it in a stitch along so that I could have, you know, 7 days or however long the stitch along is for, to work on that piece in a timely fashion and yet still go with the daily rotation. I just get bored, and it burns me out on everything if I get bored. So not in a very long time. Wendy also asked, am I going to frame my finishes and put them in my stitching room? Some of them, yeah. I have quite a few finishes. Some of them are much more me, my fandom, what I like, wouldn't go anywhere else in the house. I don't know if I'll frame all of them, but I will put some of them up in here in some way, whether it's a frame or if, I may go watch Carolyn and Teresa's tutorial videos about doing the boxes, the no-sew boxes. I've got a couple that would work well for that. A couple of magnets, which, you know, can go down in the fridge upstairs or downstairs, or if I'm going to use, when I put up the next big installation after I clean up this room, is going to be something above here that's going to hold all my needle minders. So, or I could put it like up there. There are some patterns that I'm working on that are intended eventually when they're completed to be gifts, so I won't keep those. others that, yes, will go in here or in my bedroom. Although I share my bedroom with my husband, obviously, that's a room where I don't have a concern with putting, random things that may not go elsewhere in the house. There are a few things, my chatelaines, I have plans for those to be down in my front formal living room and dining room area when they're done. They'll replace some of the artwork that I have on the walls down there now. It just kind of depends on what it is. Some of the kids' stuff will go in the kids' rooms. We have a playroom up here that, yes, even as the kids are getting older, I'll still put things that are more playroom-ish, cartoony related in the playroom, because that can just stay even as the kids' toys and stuff change. So, the ones that are for me, my exploding TARDIS will go in here. Some of the other patterns that I've got, that are very, like the Once Upon a Time one that I've shown you guys before, from the ABC challenge will go in here somewhere. I plan on having, the Once Upon a Time from Frosted Pumpkin and the Storytime Sampler and the Zodiac in here, more than likely. I might put one of them, or put the Frosted Pumpkin ones out in the playroom. I haven't decided yet, but the Zodiac will stay in here. But it really just kind of depends on, I've got lots of we've lived in this house for like 4 or 5 years now. And we didn't put a lot of the stuff up on the walls that we had on the walls in our previous house. And I think that's just because it's a different setup, a different aesthetic, a different phase in our lives. So I've got a lot of wall space that I can put things up on. So I think it's just going to kind of depend as things go. We'll see what happens. So thank you all for the questions this week. As always, if you have any other questions that you'd like me to answer in my weekly video, please feel free to put them in the comments below. And if the answers I gave this week weren't what you're looking for, let me know and I'm happy to clarify. So, moving on, Stashquisitions. There's a lot this week. And it's not because I did a lot of shopping this week. It was just that I had a lot of things that I had ordered all came in this week. So you know how those weeks go, where you may have ordered something months ago, especially if it's fabric, or a couple of weeks ago if it was needle minders, or you've got your monthly things that come in and you weren't expecting everything, and then the mailman knocks at your door and hands you a pile about that big of stuff. Yeah, that happened this week. I'm supposed to be getting better about buying stuff. I think I'm pretty good, with the exception of finishing up some stuff, some purchases. I'm going to have another couple of big purchases before the end of the year, but I will get into that later. So, yeah, here we go. First, I got a needle minder that I had ordered from Gina's Unique Needle Minders. It's the Queen of Hearts, because I like all things Queen, and she's cute, and I love the red hair, and it reminds me of my kids, and yeah, so that came in this week. Because, I need more needle minders. And really, I do. I promise. I'll explain why later. I've got more needle minders coming in later. Dragonfly Lotus. I had mentioned, I think, a couple of weeks ago that I had put on hold my monthly subscription for Dragonfly Lotus, but I had 1 month that I had already paid for that hadn't come in yet. Well, it came in this week. Yay! It's the September 2015 threads, and they're all purples. Look at that. Aren't they pretty? This is the card that comes with it. I love these cards. They're great. So here are the ones that I got this month. This is from the Mulberry collection, so it's 100% mulberry silk. This is Tanzanite. It's really pretty. I love this. It's purples and blues and grays and silvers, and it's so pretty. And then I got from the Frosted collection. This is a merino wool and bamboo rayon combo. This is called Black Cherry. And it's a really cool, well, it's got one of my hairs on it because, I have long hair and thus I shed. It's a really cool, like, purpley gray. It's hard to describe the color. It's coming pretty true to life on the camera. But it's a really pretty color. Next one is from the Mulberry collection, and it is also in black cherry. This is the 100% mulberry silk, and you can tell a lot more that this is a much more of a purpley pinky shade. So it's really interesting to see how both of these colors, which are both black cherry, take the dye differently. Just like with fabrics, they take the dyes differently and they look different on this. The same color scheme can look different, but they're so pretty. And then the last one from the Mulberry collection, 100% mulberry silk. This is called Detour, which has some purples and blues and goldy colors. It's just so pretty. Makes it really hard to know that I put this on hold for a while. But they're gorgeous. I love them. Dragonfly Lotus is awesome. Sorry, I need a drink before I go into the next phase of Stashquisitions. And because a message just popped up, Melanie, I'm recording this right now. I will message you as soon as I'm done. Sorry. So, Under the Sea Fabrics had a sale not too long ago. So I got, I got a pile of fabric. Some that I ordered from the sale. One that was Fabric of the Month for September. And then the one that was the Fabric of the Month for October. So I believe, if I remember correctly, these should be the ones that were the ones that I ordered. And these are the 2 Fabric of the Months. But I'm not making promises. These are all just beautiful fabrics. So if they're Fabric of the Month and I get it wrong, I'm sorry. So this first one is called Horatio. It's a 28 Jobelin. It's really pretty orange. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Pretty orangey and browny colors. This is very much a very fall piece of fabric. I like it. Let's see. Put that down. Next, I have Butterbeer, which is a 32 Jobelin. It's all Under the Sea Fabrics. I have loved this fabric for a while. Isn't that pretty? The yellow, orangey colors and the brown. It's another really pretty cool fall type piece. Though I might have future plans for this. I have to do some investigation first. But I might have future plans for that. Then next we have Tulip Sunrise, which I got in a 32 Jobelin. So yeah, these are all the orders because I got them in Jobelin and I don't know. Isn't that gorgeous? Pinks and oranges and a little bit of yellow and white in there. It's so pretty. So pretty. Yeah, these are all the ones that I ordered because I ordered them all in Jobelin. Here's the last one of the ones that I ordered. This is Artemis in 28 Jobelin. It's a really pretty kind of subtle purple, very like purple and blue. It's much more variegated in person. It's more subtle when you're looking at it on here, but it's really pretty. Yay! And then the 2 Fabric of the Months. One of these is September, one of these is October. The September one, I believe, is this one, is Brigide. Oh, mulberries and crimsons and oranges and so gorgeous. So, so pretty. I love it. Of course, there are very rarely fabrics from Leslie that I don't love. And then the last one, I believe this is the October Fabric of the Month. This is Lycan's Moon, which is also in my 32 count linen. Look at that, like a black and a raspberry cranberry color. It's just so pretty. Yay, brick. I need it. Again, I'll explain why later. And then I had made an order for Brooks Books, and I got that in this week. There are a couple things that I had ordered because I ordered them in a pack that I already actually had some of the patterns. So I have put those to the side, and those will be included in my giveaway. But I'm only going to show you the ones that are the new ones. This is, of course, this, we've all seen this, I believe, the Spirit of Oz Santa. This is the piece that I am going to do for the Brooks Books Stitch Along starting in January on Stitch Mania. Because you can see all of the pieces that are on here. I mean, there's all of the little dolls, and there's so much to this pattern that I am going to try to do like one little doll or one little piece each month for the Stitch Along, and hopefully get this finished by the end of the year next year. But that's my plan. It's so awesome. And then I also have the Spirit of Christmas Stitching Santa. I'd seen this on a couple other people's videos, and I thought that was just awesome. So he will be done in the future. And of course, if I got Santa, I had to get the Spirit of Mrs. Claus. So pretty. And then the rest of these were just ones that I ordered because I thought they were cool. This is the Spirit of Christmas Stitching, which I have a lot of Christmas stitching. So I thought that was highly appropriate. Then we have the Spirit of Holiday Baking. My favorite type of food that comes with the holidays is all the baked goodies. Then we have the Spirit of Holiday Giving. The whole spirit of the season. Then the Spirit of Christmas Carols, which I love Christmas carols. And I love her skirt. I just love how the whole little tartan down there. And then the Spirit of Mistletoe, which I've seen a couple of people working on. So pretty and pink. And then I have the Spirit of Crochet Angel. I don't do crochet, but I know a couple people who do. And crochet is one of those things I might be interested in learning at some point. This is the Spirit of Knitting Angel. Again, I know people who knit. Some of these are ones I've gotten with the intention of possible gifts later on down the line. A Spirit of Quilting Angel. I love her skirt. I think that's just so pretty. And then the last one that I got is the Spirit of Cinderella's Fairy Godmother. Which, look at that. The whole, yeah. Reminds me of her angel that she has in the Just Cross Stitch ornament issue this year. With all that. So yay! Those all came in. And then I was talking to Coffee Stitcher one day about Prairie Schooler of all things. And just talking about, you know, patterns that we were interested in and that we wanted to get before they weren't available anymore. And I did a little shopping because they're going out of business and I need to find the patterns that I want. So I have gotten now the patterns, all the patterns that I'm aware of that were in my Prairie Schooler wish list. First one is the entire set of the Prairie Schooler A through Z series. I fell in love with this. I don't remember who is doing it, but I've seen it on a couple blogs. I have seen a video, someone is working on this somewhere out in the Flosstube sphere, that they are doing they are combining all these patterns into one big piece. They're doing it all on one piece of fabric, and it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeously stunning. So that is my eventual plan, is to do all of these in one big piece. But let me show you what these are. Okay, here's A, B, C. A is for anchor, B is for blackbird, C is for cow. Then we have D, E, F. D is for drums, E is for embroidery, F is for friend. Then G, H, I. G is for garden, H is for honey, I is for Indian corn. J, K, L. J is for jack-o'-lantern, K is for kitty, L is for leaves. M and O. M is for mermaid, N is for nest, O is for owl. PQR. P is for parrot, Q is for quilting, R is for rabbit. And really it was the Q block that sold me on this. I mean, all of them are lovely. The Q block, this one right here, kind of sold me on this piece. STU, S is for sewing, T is for time, U is for unlock. And I will say, all of these except for this one came from 123 Stitch. This one, I believe, is the one that I got from the Silver Needle, because 123 Stitch didn't carry it anymore, but the Silver Needle had it. Or maybe it was this one. Yeah, I think it was that one. VWX. V is for vineyard, W is for welcome, X is for cross stitch. So, you know, gotta do that one. Duh. Then Y and Z. Y is for yarn, Z is for zinnia, and then it has one little piece that's all ABCs. So you can make it into an even thing if you do them all, because it's the 26 letters of the alphabet plus that is 27. So anyway, those weren't all the Prairie Schooler patterns I got. I got 3 other ones. This one is Adam Names the Creatures. I liked that one. And then this one is Starry Night. They're a whole bunch of little ornaments that are all from the Nativity, which I just really liked. I'd like to see if there's a way to put them all on one piece, but I would have to do some investigation and looking. I don't know if there is, but it's pretty. And then the last one I got from Prairie Schooler was Stars and Stripes, because I am a political junkie. So, yay! So there aren't any other Prairie Schooler patterns that I am aware of that I wanted. I like a lot of her Halloween patterns, but they're not something that I would stitch. I like seeing other people stitch them, but they're just not something I would stitch. So, but all of those I really like and do want to stitch them, though they're probably going to wait a bit. That wasn't it. Rainbow Stitchery also had I'll do this one first. I had to order some DMC floss and bobbins, and I'm not showing you those because it's DMC floss and bobbins, but I also got a Mill Hill kit to go with it that was on sale. It's from the Arctic Circle Santa group. This one is the Nunavut Santa, and it's got the polar bear. Some more of those lovely Santas. Then the rest of these all came from Rainbow Stitchery. They had another sale. I think it was 60% off. So I went through their patterns and got some more because it's 60% off, people. Okay, this one is from Bent Creek. It is the Think Happy, Be Happy row. Let's see, can I show you this? There you go. It says, think happy, be happy. Our life is what our thoughts make it. And I like that one. Then this one is Needle in a Garden by Just Nan. I really like these Just Nan samplers. Really gotten kind of hooked on them. This one says, plant the stitches, mark each row, train the vine, scare the crow, rip the weeds, watch it grow. So I thought that was really nice. This one is also from Bent Creek. This is Love You, Mom. Yes, I have plans for it. So that one was really cute. This one's from Carolyn Manning Designs. It's called Twinkle. I've liked this pattern of hers for a while. All the cute little ornaments. And then this is the last one, the last pattern that I got. It's another Just Nan. It is called Silkwood Manor. Actually, let me take this one out. Let's pull it out here. Wow, I hadn't pulled this out yet. Okay, here's Silkwood Manor. Here's the picture of it. Isn't that beautiful? I'm also on the back seeing there's a needle park. Some of the inner band stuff. And it comes with a separate stitching guide. That's a little bit. I guess it's all the specialty stitches and stuff and how to do the bands. And then there are little accessories that came with it. But it says, the day star turns its shining face to warm the earth with flowering grace. But I thought that was beautiful. So I had to get it. So that is it for Stashquisitions. It's a lot this week. I don't, well, I have a couple of floss orders, because I did realize I was missing some flosses still for Queen of the Needle. And I think that's all I've got out there right now, besides my monthly stuff. I'll put that back in later. So I don't think I have a lot of stuff scheduled to come into me soon, but we'll see. And like I said, I am gonna have to place, I think I got the last of the threads that for my chatelaines ordered. I've got, like I said, my monthly stuff, and I'm gonna be placing another couple orders here soon. But anyway, lots of stash queen, it happens. So I thought I would show you guys 30 minutes into my video, my whips. So let's do my week in review. This week I was able to work on everything, which is great. I always love those weeks where I don't have any holdovers. Let's show you what I did. First, I worked on Quaker Diamonds by Rosewood Manor. And here's what I got. I finished the these interior dark lines here on this one. So made some more progress. I really do enjoy working on this piece. This is on a 28 cachet linen solo die from Silk Weaver. So I thought that was, I enjoyed working on that. Then next, I worked on Queen of the Needle from Just Nan, and yes, I did realize I never had ordered the floss that I thought I had ordered. Oops. But I finished this heart band up here, and then did some more fill-in down here with a couple of colors that I had gotten, but the other ones I had to get from somewhere else. And this is done on 28 Jobelan and Fruit Punch from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I just love this. It's so pretty. Let's see. Then next, I worked on Rainbow Parfait from Glendon Place. Unfold this baby. And I finished on this diamond over here, the second blue one that's more turquoise, and then the gold inner diamond on that piece. And this is being done on the 32 Lugana in Mesa from Picture This Plus, using the called for Dinky Dye Silks. But as it was noted on a couple of people comments on the Glendon Place group, the fabric choices, even if you use the called for Glendon Place silks, or not Glendon Place silks, Dinky Dye silks, the color of the fabric can really make the effect of the silks look different. But I think that's cool. I love working on this piece. It's really wonderful. Then, that's not, yeah, it is. Sorry. Then I worked on Rapunzel from Joan Elliott. And she's just lovely. I love her. So here's where she stands now at this point. I finished this column and up here and over this top, this one color. Didn't get a lot of time to work on her, but I finished that one color in that area. So I can now do some of the rest of the columns around there. And she is being done on 28 Jobelan in Isolde from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So pretty. Then Raven Queen was she came up in my daily rotation this week. So she got more than 7 hours worked on her. So I'll show her off. And she is on 28 Jobelan in Andromeda from Under the Sea Fabrics. I'm almost done with the black on her dress. See, let's pull it back here. There's really not a whole lot left done in the black on her dress. So my goal is to finish the black on her gown, down in the skirt, and then start working on filling in the rest of her dress. I'm not going to worry about the glove that goes over here until I do the skin that reaches over to it. And yes, I will be doing skin 1/1. So yeah, I love how she's looking. This is the one piece, like I said earlier, that right now I enjoy working on every single day, but I think a lot of that is because it is not the only piece I am working on every single day. I think if I was only working on Raven Queen and wasn't working on anything else, I don't think I would enjoy it as much. And then last for the week was my Saturday Doctor Who Stitch Along, which is the Exploding TARDIS from Sprite Stitch. I finished 2 more colors this week, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colors done on page 1. And this is done on 18 count Ada 2/1 full cross. So yeah, it's coming along. Not sure what I feel about yesterday's episode. It's kind of weird, but it's okay. So that was my whips for this past week. There was another whip that I started this week, and I mentioned it last week that I would be working on this piece, and that I wasn't going to be showing it off because it is the model stitch for Coffee Stitcher's first endeavor into pattern design. That is his own pattern. But I talked to Coffee Stitcher, and he said I was welcome to show it off. He would be happy to have me show it off. I've been showing pictures every day on Stitch Mania. Haven't told anyone what it is. We're not going to tell anyone what it is. And so it's kind of fun that way. Because I'm working on it, and you guys are able to see, especially the ones in Stitch Mania, get to see the progress that I'm making every day, but you don't know what I'm doing. It's like a mystery. So I'm going to show you guys Coffee Stitcher's piece. I am doing it on 32 Lugana in sand from Picture This Plus. That's what I got so far. Border. What could it be? And I'm using a pinup Snow White from Gina's Unique Needle Minders. Yay! This is a lot of fun. I like this pattern. I watched him as he was working on designing it. It was a lot of fun to watch him work on it, and I'm having a lot of fun stitching on it. So, not telling anybody what it is yet. Everyone will learn soon enough. And the fun thing about this, he wrote the pattern for it all to be in DMC, and that's great. But he also said that we could kind of play around with it, and if we wanted to use different colors or certain colors we didn't think worked, we could always put it in. He could use those as alternates. So I decided to make the border Krynic, because, you know, bling. And I'm also pulled Dragonfly Lotus flosses, because we all know how much Coffee Stitcher loves Dragonfly Lotus. In fact, let me put the ones that I just showed you guys in here to see if I can substitute those out anywhere. Because, you know, we have all the ones where we see, you know, Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works and Classic Color Works and all the standard ones. And even I substitute out. I've got tons that I sub out from O'Sale. I've got one that I've got subbed out right now for Joddery. Why not try Dragonfly Lotus? Let's see how it works. And, you know, Liz's stuff is awesome. Hey, Liz. So, more on that to come as I work on it. So, whips for the week. I've got, well, did I even put them in the right order? No. Good job, Katie. And I realized I found something else in my Stashquisitions. So let me show you guys that. Because it was in the bottom of my whips for the week. Cross Stitch Needlework magazine came in. And it is all holidays. It's their holiday issue this year. So there's 65 patterns in here for the holidays. Let me find, I'm not going to do an entire go through, but there are a lot of cute little ornaments in here. I do like this one. This is the teeny tiny nativity. Isn't that cute? And then, because those are all stitched on, they're like 2.5 by 3.5 tall. That's how big they are when the patterns are done. Let's see, where's another one that I saw that I really wanted. So a lot of, where are they? I liked this. I liked the wreath with all the ornaments put on it. Thought those were cute. Let's see. Showing. There's just this one I liked. Let's see if I can show this to them. It's the Naughty Reindeer Train. And they did them all as individual pieces on perforated paper, but I think you could easily do this on one piece. But I thought that was really cute. I like that one. But yeah, there's lots of cute patterns in here that aren't just ornaments like the Just Cross Stitch issue, which don't get me wrong, I love the Just Cross Stitch issue. But they've got all sorts of different things in here. Ornaments, cards, stockings, all sorts of fun stuff. So check this out if you haven't. So apparently, since I didn't put this in any order, luckily I wrote it down in order. I just didn't put it in order here. So, whips for this upcoming week. First off, we have Robin Hood from Little House Needleworks. And I am doing this on 32 Lugana in sand from Picture This Plus. Didn't I just say I was using that? It's the other half of the piece that I was using. So here's where we stand on him, or on Robin Hood for now. Shared Forest. Got Robin in there. Got some trees, and I have a Captain America needle minder from Delicious Threads. So yes, that's where we're starting on him this week. He'll be the one I work on today. Then next, we have Rose Fairy. Where did she go? There she is. From Joan Elliott. See, can you see this okay with it? I guess I can see it okay. That's Rose Fairy. And she is being done on 20 Jobelin in Fairy Dance from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Don't have a lot done on her at this point. Just a little bit of her skirt and some pretty sparkly metallics. And the one that this is the Flower Fairies of the Spring book needle minder from Pinoy Stitches. Then we have Santa by Jim Shore from Mill Hill. Speaking of holiday cross stitching, here is the pattern. And here is where I am on him at this point. Get a little bit better so you don't see it very often. So, work some more on Santa. And then I've got the little penguin needle minder from Gina. Because I collect penguins, and penguins are cute. Then I have Skater's Village Tree Skirt from Dimensions Gold. Here's what the skirt looks like. And let's pull out this massive piece of fabric that I should have pulled out before I started doing this video, but I didn't. Let's see here. Hold on. Here we go. Here is where it stands at this point. Can I see? Can I see? I have the snowman over here is all done in backstitch. I'm backstitching this as I go, but we'll make some more progress on it. This is little emerald needle minder from Gina. So I forgot how much progress I had on this at this point. So we'll work on this some, see what other progress we can make. I won't pull that up the way it's supposed to yet. And then we have The Spirit of Cross Stitch Angel from Brooks Books that I'm working on. And last time I left this, let's see, where is it? Here we go. I had finished the little puppy dog and I was working on her wings, which, you know, it's hard to see because it's on silver, but can I block this one? No, not really. But I'm working on her wings. So I'll try to get those wings done this time. And then Saturday, of course, will be my exploding TARDIS one. So, are you keeping count of how many whips I showed you? Robin Hood, Rose Fairy, Santa, Skater's Village, Spirit of Cross Stitch Angel, Exploding TARDIS. I wonder what the 7th one is. Maybe it's the one that I'm working on for Garrett. There's a hint. What can it be? What can it be? You'll see more next week. So, those are my whips for the upcoming week. Couple other things. I got my floss storage done. Yay! All of it. It's all done. It's all organized. It's all in ABC order. It's all got the little, I'll pull this one out now. It's all got the little stickers on it. This one's the classic Colorworks in there. Clearly they're not all completely 100% overflowing filled like you have seen. Hold on. I need to learn. I cannot do that over my shoulder. They're not all completely 100% overflow filled like you had seen with my previous examples with the Mo's. And that's okay. I have 2 drawers left over that right now just have the extra stuff for organizing stored in them. But so I've got some room to grow, which is good because we all know I'm going to need room to grow. It also includes in here these 2, right? 1, 2, yeah. These 2, the second 2 boxes. Let me see, can I show you a little bit behind me better? Not really. Sorry, don't mean to make you. They have some vintage DMC that I didn't remember that I had from one of my neighbors. And I'm not going to add to that because I keep all of my DMC in bobbins downstairs. But these were all already done in Floss Away bags because she did the Floss Away storage system. So I just organized them. And now if I am missing a DMC, I'm going to come up here first before I place an order. Use what I've got before I actually place an order. And I think between what's in these 2 boxes and what's downstairs, I should have a full set. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. So future plans. I am going to do a video separately. We're going to try to do a video separately of the floss storage if people are interested. It'll be easier for me to do it from behind the camera to show you guys how it looks and how everything is organized. Even though I've talked about it a lot, but I can show you guys the finished product. Got to do a little bit of cleaning up in here first because there's stuff thrown everywhere. You just don't see it because I haven't showed it to you. That is my next phase of the room in here. I'm going to try to spend about an hour a day in here going through figuring out what I want to keep in here, what needs to go elsewhere, and what is trash that we don't need anymore. Because there's stuff in here from when we first moved. There's stuff in here from when I worked. And I've pretty much decided if I ever do go back to work, I'm not going to go back in the same industry that I was in. So there's a lot of stuff in here I don't need to keep anymore. There's, there's all sorts of stuff in here. There's baby clothes in here that need to be donated. There's organized here what I'm going to keep for my future grandchildren and what needs to be donated. So that is my plan, is to kind of go through here and figuring out what needs to stay in here and what needs to go. And now that this is pretty much cleared up, with the exception of this, which I'll talk about in a second, I can use this just to put stuff on top of for now, to get it off the floor and out of the way. And once I do that, I will bring the second one of these units. I don't have drawers for it, but it's the second one of the Kallax units up here to put together. And then look at getting the other 2 pieces of furniture that I wanted to get for this room. And if I need to, any more of the inserts for the Kallax, we'll see what happens when I get to that point. So more to come on that as I get progress going. I am in the middle of attempting to work out iMovie and doing a digital stash video. No promise on when it's done. It started. I'm working on it. I'm learning iMovie. I do not plan to ever edit my videos like these videos using it, but because it's just easier to video and then upload and go, no matter how long it takes for it to upload. but I am working on going through my digital stash so I can, and how I'm going to show off what I have in my digital stash. So whenever that video is done, I will upload it. No promises of when that's going to be, but it'll be up. It's not held to my normal weekly thing. When it's done, it'll be uploaded. And I'm also going to blame Kate, the Queen of Starts, for what I'm saying next. A couple years ago, I did the Crazy January Challenge, which was, at the time, 15 starts in 15 days, like Stitch Mania. This is years ago that I did this. Haven't done it since, for all sorts of different reasons, between Stitchy Bug and not to the point that I am now of being comfortable with having as many whips as I do, life, all sorts of things. I just haven't done it since. Well, and then I did Stitch Mania last year, and I actually did 35 starts in 31 days for Stitch Mania because I turned 35 this year. And my birthday's in May. And, I'm planning on doing 31 starts in May for Stitch Mania next year. Well, when Kate and I had lunch, or brunch, which we're doing again soon. I'm so excited. She was talking about how she and Linda, who is a blogger from Stitching with My Fur Babies, I believe is her blog, we're doing it again this year, and how there's a group on Facebook, and how they were both planning on doing a new start every day for January and February of next year. That's 60 starts, because you got 31 days in January, and next year is a leap year, so you got 29 days in February. And at first I was like, no, no. I've already got 60 plus whips going on. I'm going to do another 31 for Stitch Mania. Yes, I have the stash as far as patterns go for it, but no, no. And then I kept thinking about it. And then I started going through my patterns that I wanted to do for Stitch Mania next year. And I couldn't narrow down the patterns I wanted to do for Stitch Mania. I had a lot that I wanted to do, but I couldn't narrow it down to just 31. So what did I end up doing? I have picked 91 patterns for next year. 92 if you count the one that I haven't purchased yet, but I'm not doing until September for the Harry Potter start. 31 for January, 29 for February, and 31 for May. That's this up here. I'm insane. I realize this. I embrace my insanity. But I'm excited. I spent this week going through, I picked out, I had less than 30 kits. So I got all of the kits out. I did and then divided it up between patterns and then magazines and books, that I had. Picked them all out, figured out what I was going to do when. Luckily I already had some picked out. I already knew I was going to start my 2 Chatelaines, my Santa from Brooks Books, and the Frosted Pumpkin and Clouds Factory annuals for next year. So I already had 5 starts in January. What was another 26? I have a problem. Hi, my name is Katie, and I am a serial starter. So I've pulled all the patterns. I have figured out which patterns I am going to switch out floss for and use floss I have in my stash, whether it's Moe's or Jottery or Dragonfly Lotus or whatever it's going to be. Now that all of my floss is sorted, I can go through these patterns, figure out what I have in my stash ready to go and what I need to purchase. And so that's going to be one big purchase, is get all the flosses that I may need. I'm going to wait on ordering beads because A, I have a ton of beads, and B, I won't be doing beads until the end. And I'm really only looking right now at ordering what I need for January and February. May can wait a little bit. I'm going to go through my fabric stash, and I am going to go ahead and assign fabrics. There's going to be a few things that I need to get. Like there's some that are going to need some perforated paper. There are some ornaments that I'm planning on doing that will probably be just on white Aida. There's a lot. But I'm going to work on going through my fabric stash, assigning fabrics to all 91, so I know what I'm going to do in May as well for fabrics. And if I need to order anything, I can get that taken care of before May, and have all that ready to go. So once I have completed that, I will be doing a separate video about my plans for the In Memory of Debbie, who was a blogger who did this challenge as well. She was the first one with Linda to do the crazy January, February, and she passed away a year or two ago. And this is now done really in memory of her. I will do a separate video whenever I have everything ready to go, as far as fabric at least, and patterns for January and February. And I won't necessarily do it on a Sunday. Whenever I have it ready to go and whenever I have time, I'll sit down and do that video. So everyone can see what my plans are for the crazy January and February challenge. And yes, they will all be new starts. And yes, I will still be working on my daily rotation at the time. And yes, I know I'm insane. Embrace the insanity, people. So yeah, I think that's about it today. I'll be back next week for sure with my normal update. And then watch for those other videos to come as I have a chance to do them whenever they're ready. So there's 3 videos that should be coming soon. The Floss storage, at least. The digital video, and then which won't have me, it'll just be like the iMovie with pictures and music and stuff. And then the crazy January, February preview video. Anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful stitchy week, and thank you as always for your likes, for your comments, for all of the subscribers, old and new. I love doing this, and it's one of the highlights of my week that I really enjoy sitting down and doing these videos. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.